Hey everybody, welcome back to another Thingamajigger Thursday here at Tucson Acres. In today's episode, we're going to first look at last week's mystery tools. Then I'm going to give you a sneak peek at next week's mystery tools. Then I'm going to share a tool with you that I think was a complete waste of money. Let's go. All right, so first we'll look at this little guy here, and I was impressed. A bunch of folks knew what this was right out of the gate. I should have figured it out just by looking at it. It didn't even dawn on me. They're just tire spoons. So these are full size. Well, here's a full size tire spoon meant for taking the tire off a rim. This is one of a set that I had that I took on a motorcycle trip a long time ago for obviously motorcycles. These little buggers are just for bicycle tires. They're plastic. You would just feed this in between the rim and the rubber tire itself, feed it in there, and then you peel it out and over the edge of the rim. And then this side here would lock into a spoke to keep it where it is. Now this brand, there was a comment mentioning K-Tool or Kool Tool, K-Tool. Either way, that is not this brand. It is identical. But this is a DREMEFC or A, whatever it is. I think they must have been bought out, and I didn't spend a whole lot of time looking this one up. You can still buy these. They're like $6 or $7. So really cool. A couple guys, or at least one guy, said he has one of these sets in his bicycle toolkit. Nifty little thing. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't ride things without motors anymore. So, all right, so that's that one. Now let's take a look at this one. This one is really, really cool. So a couple guys got it right. I think Rob Bacon was one of them. He even put in a little bit of a history lesson. This is a Thomas Betts crimper, a TBM-2 crimper. It's a little bit older, probably from the 60s and 70s. So I got a little history on these to add into what Rob Bacon put in his comments, which honestly I didn't see that, but he must know. He said something about I think it was Betts' kid, and he went crazy or something, or his kid died and Betts went crazy. I didn't find that, but hey, I know there's lots of information out there. So if you got anything else on that, I'd appreciate it. Thomas and Betts Company started in 1898 by two classmates at Princeton University. It was Robert Thomas and Hobart Betts. Now that was actually in the comments, but there's the clarification on that. It started out supplying conduit for the rising electrical grid. Over the course of the next 50 years or so, their products and uses expanded from the Empire State Building to Canada to military applications, including tanks, planes, and ships. They were even part of the first nuclear-powered submarine. In 1958, one of the Thomas and Betts employees, Marcus C. Logan, or Murus C. Logan, invented the zip tie, which again, I believe Rob Bacon mentioned, so that's pretty cool. After watching workers tying thousands of feet of aircraft wires, so I am actually from aviation, and they still do this to this day. They use this wax-coated string. So you get these huge bundles of hundreds of wires running the length of the aircraft, you know, for everything from sensors to motors to lighting to electronics, you name it. There is literally miles and miles, probably hundreds of miles of wiring in aircraft, and you got to wire them all or tie them all together. So anyway, that's why he came up with that. This particular crimper and associated lugs were part of the company's color-coded, or as they call it, the color-keyed system that came out in the late 40s, which helped to ensure proper installation of wire terminals, which we'll go over here in a second. In 2012, the company ABB acquired Thomas and Betts. And ABB, for those that don't know, it's a worldwide industrial leader in digital technologies and robotic automation. You've probably even seen their 3-axis robot arms, like the old school Armatron arm or toy. I'll put a picture up here. But that big version, the ABB versions, can flip cars around like toys. My pops actually used to work for ABB for a short while, I don't know, several years, and he was part of the production assembly line for the Big Three in Detroit. He would help ABB install and program all of these robotics, and then he would be the on-site technician for the following 6 to 12, 18 months. So if there was something wrong with any of the automation, he would be the one to troubleshoot or help the on-site electrician or the company's electrician figure out what was going on. So now let's take a little closer look. Yes, this is broken. This is part of a ratchet system right here. There was a little paw and a little gear that went down in there. I'm sorry, this side. There's a little pin right here, and there should be a gear inside of there where this paw would ratchet on that. You can still see the spring sitting down in there. Anyway, it's stuck. So that part is broken. But the rest of it does work. And when they talk about color coded, you see the little wheel there. It's got those colors and they're even spelt out. You know, you need that. This is what they're talking about. Obviously, this terminal lug is way too big for that. But I do happen to have a few spares of the lugs that this guy requires. And it's sitting here somewhere. Here it is. So this one, this is actually a TB or Thomas Betts. Come on, focus. There we go. You can see it says Thomas or TB on it, and this is gray, and it says gray. And I've already got it selected to the gray cutout there, so that's what this lug would be for. All right, so I got some wire here that I've already prepped. You just put your terminal on there, get it in position. And give her a good squeeze. And it would make sure that the right color is being used with the right dimensions or the right crimper. Now you've got a good solid crimp on there. So that's what those are for. Pretty cool. One other thing, well, two other things with the crimper thing. I've just been using one of these for the past 20 years or so. This is a crimping tool as well. I even use it on these monster crimpers. You can just slide it in there and then hammer this side down. These are really handy, at least I've found, for working on wires that are attached on one end, like say your battery terminal cable or battery cable on your car, and you don't want to pull the whole cable out. You can just walk this over there, get it in there, and pound it down if you don't want to spend the, whatever. Because this is only for 4 sizes of crimps, whereas this one can do all sorts of sizes. So, and these aren't cheap. Getting the real deals, they're anywhere from 80 to 150 bucks, sometimes more, sometimes less. You can get knockoffs that aren't quite as good. They'll still work, but this is very, very versatile and very few moving parts. You just got one spring-loaded slider here. And then I was digging around, and I hadn't even realized I had these. This is the bigger version. And it probably has a yellow marker on it. I don't know. Oh, it just pulls out. Okay. And this is a Thomas Betts brand as well. It's got red and white. I don't see a yellow, but it does actually have the TB markings on it. So does this. Those are definitely not the right size. Maybe that one. Kind of nifty. I'll have to look into these buggers. I'll bet these are expensive. When I do the video editing, I'll find these online and see how much they cost and throw it up here on the screen. So here's next week's mystery tools. Gonna do 2 of them. Give you a good close-up here, and everybody should know the drill by now. At least I know my regulars do. I really do appreciate everybody throwing in your guesses and your comments, and if you do have suggestions, please throw it down there as well. So that'll be one of them. This will be the other one. All right, let me know what you guys think. We'll be going over those ones next week. All right, so tool I wish I had never bought, and just don't waste your money on it. Maybe somebody found a use for it. This is one of those little magnetic flashlight extending things that's supposed to take the place of a magnet and a light. I have never used this. You pick it up off the counter at AutoZone or Napa or whatnot because they're all stacked there and they look cool, and you're like, oh man, that looks so handy because it extends, wobble head on it. I've never touched it. The flashlight sucks and the magnet sucks. So basically it's one of those, it's trying to be a Leatherman and it's not worth it. Now, every time I lose a fastener in an engine bay or a frame or something, I need a mirror. If I can't see it, this thing ain't gonna find it anyway. I usually need a mirror to get up in there and, look where I can't see. You know, this would be great if it had a mirror on it, and maybe they sell a mirror attachment for it, I don't know. But it's not very bright. The magnet is not very strong. Here's a demo, just barely strong enough to, now granted this is heavy. Here's just it's not very strong. Whereas this magnet, you know, this is I think a 16-pound old school Craftsman. I mean, this thing is heavy duty. Same thing. I mean, that's a 1, 2, 3 block, and it's holding pretty stout. This one, there's no way you can. So anyway, don't waste your money on this little crap. Maybe there's a better version of this out there. This is some no-name brand. All right, well, that's all I got for you today. Appreciate everybody's support. Please do this on your way out. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.